Hello, Voyagers, and welcome to Thea's workshop. I own the workshop, but I have a guest with me, and it's Ceres.
Hello, it's me, your favorite fun guy.
See what you did there. Today we're going to talk about Daggerheart. Specifically, we're going to delve into all the different and crazy ancestries that are available in this game. This
Yeah.
is our third episode on Daggerheart, so check our second if you're not caught up. Last time we talked about classes and domains. This time we're going to talk about all the different little creatures that you can pick for your new characters.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about ancestries. I think there's some really cool ones in here. And I also want to give just a minor shout out to the layout of Daggerheart that they start you with your class and then move you to your ancestry.
I mean,
That
that's
is
pretty
so much
default by now, but it is appreciated, yes.
it is so much of the better way to do it than to start you with your ancestry, which is less meaningful, and then end up at your class, which is more meaningful. It's so much
Yeah,
better to start with the more meaningful decision first. So I applaud them for that.
yeah. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Ancestries. So ancestries are what used to be called like fantasy races. They are the creature that you are. This
Mm.
game is explicitly designed to be very, very inclusive, including letting you play whichever ancestry you like, even ones that are not technically listed on the catalog. So we have all of these different ancestries, and then there's basically already built-in rules to just like mix them up so that you can create your own. And
Yeah, and I think this goes
notably,
back to their golden rule that we talked about in episode 1, where they're like,
yeah,
don't let any rule in the game hold you back from playing the character you want to play and doing the story you want to do.
yeah, absolutely. And there's also, yeah, and another notable thing is that the descriptions of these ancestries are almost entirely biological and aesthetic. There is no cultural aspects associated with any of these ancestries. So they don't even tell you what goblins are usually like. They just tell you what goblins look like, and then you can make your own goblins.
Which I think is actually a great solution. If characters are going to be able to play these characters, you want a whole variety of individuals to be possible, but you also want a whole variety of cultures to be possible because, like, you want to be able to have your character come from the culture that you want, right? Like you want to be able, even if you don't want to play a warrior orc, right? You might not even want to play an orc who comes from a warrior society. In which case, you need to have that flexibility to choose what orcs are generally like in this setting. So they don't even give you a default. They just tell you, you know, I think their default is all the ancestries are mixed up, always existing together and dividing themselves into communities, not on the basis of ancestry, which I think is for modern fantasy a great way to do it. I think that's nice.
Yeah, it's interesting how this game relates to like people of different like expertise in the world of modern fantasy and TTRPGs. Like I think that like someone who's very new might grab this book and be a little bit confused because there's very little guidance on like what everything means. This game very much assumes that you're coming in with a desire to create your own story and world and that you already have something in mind or like you already understand a lot of things about these types of games.
Mm.
While D&D is very much spoon feeding you all the fantasy 101 stuff. You're like, okay, this is what an orc is. Cool. I'm going to make an orc barbarian. I'm going to be okay with that.
Yeah, and a core element to this is that Daggerheart doesn't come with a prepackaged setting. It comes with a suggestion of like 10 different settings. So
Yeah.
Daggerheart does not give you any setting-based information on how orcs are other than just what they look like and what physically they have. So
Mhm.
I think it works actually pretty well.
And with that being said, let's talk about these ancestries because this book is crazy. So we have we have our classic archetypes of ancestry. We have your elves. We have dwarves. And I would like to mention we have female dwarves with beards. Whoop whoop. We've got there finally. Uh, we have we have halflings, which in this book have an interesting visual identity. They are not just like tiny humans, but they have a bit of a rodent like feeling to them. They're not rodent people in the sense they don't have like big rodent ears or like
Mm-hmm.
whiskers, but like the
Mm-hmm.
way their faces are constructed is very reminiscent of like a gerbil or a
Interesting.
hamster.
I haven't
Yeah,
noticed that at all, but that's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Then we have your orcs. Pretty straightforward, fanged orcs, very Warhammer. No, not Warhammer. World of Warcraft. I don't know
Mm,
if Warhammer orcs have fangs too.
I think they do. Tusks, you mean though, right?
Yeah, tusks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then we have goblins. Goblins are interesting. They don't look like your green big nosed goblins. They
Mm,
are kind of cute, big eyes, small button noses, and giant ears. It's interesting. They kind of look like almost bat babies in a way. Like they don't
mm.
have the wings, but like the heads with the giant ears reminded me of bats a lot.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like so with the orcs and the goblins, right? Not always in a fantasy book are those playable lineages or ancestries. I like that they're playable here. If you listen to our podcast episode that we did on modern and old fantasy, like Daggerheart is firmly in modern fantasy where each creature is an individual and anything that is sentient can make its own decisions as to good and evil. And it carries that perspective throughout the entire book, so it makes a lot of sense that these are playable lineages, and I like that. Maybe I don't want to make every setting like that, but I'm happy that I have a game that supports this sort of view on storytelling.
Yeah. This game is 100% buying into everything that like modern fantasy stands for. And then for your D&D aficionados, we have Infernus for Tiefling lovers and Dracona for Dragonborn lovers.
So these are devil
Uh,
people, dragon people. Your
yeah,
classic, like used to be kind of unusual in fantasy, but at this point, I think classic staples of TTRPG lineages.
absolutely. And then we have, of course, the humans. And this is what I would say like the classic set, the archetypical modern TTRPG set of ancestries. I would want to
Mm,
add like two things. One, humans get the ability to basically like have an adrenaline rush, which is very funny because I see it more and more frequently showing up in modern TTRPGs. That the
mm,
human trait is not being like a mediocre middleman who's kind of like generically flexible,
mm. But
but that
having
we
a more
have.
specific identity.
Yeah, and specifically the adrenaline rush seems to be what the internet has decided our superpower is.
It is a cool superpower to have.
It's a cool
Um,
superpower.
yeah, I think this is sort of the classic set that you could expect from a book. But what I really like about Daggerheart is how it goes beyond this. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the rest?
All right, baby, let's go. Okay, the first and very controversial one. Are you ready for some rants that may or may not be edited out of the episode?
Absolutely, hit me.
All right. We have the fawn and we have
Yeah,
the furbolg.
yeah.
Now, the fawn is a goat person. A furbolg is loosely a cow person. And the fawn presents us with a very uniform selection. Every fawn is roughly a humanoid with caprine legs, a caprine face with horns.
Mm-hmm. Caprine means goat-like, I assume.
Yeah, goat like, exactly. Furbolgs are
Mm-hmm.
presented mainly as hornless cow people whose defining features to be cow like are the nose, a flat cow nose, and big
Mm.
fluffy cow ears. Most of them don't have horns because I suppose they were afraid that that would make them look like minotaurs, which are much cooler than furbolgs, and we want to avoid that. So now riddle me this series. Which one of
Uh-huh.
these two has a charge ability? The ones that always have big ram horns, or the ones
Mm-hmm.
that only sometimes have horns?
The ones only sometimes, of course. Else you wouldn't
Of
be asking
course.
me.
Of course. This drives me crazy.
I don't see your blind hatred for furbolgs. Does not make sense to me.
It's not the blind hatred for furbolgs, it's the necessity for a separation between these two, which makes them both less cool. Like, you can strike fawn and keep furbolg, but, like, give the furbolgs more horns if you're giving them a charge ability by default. Like, the main guy is a furbolg. I don't see him charging. This is an old man. That's my grandpa. He does not. He
uh,
does not have a physique more suited to charging than I have.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. So fawns are goat people. Okay. And furbolgs are cow people. and goats aren't cows. And their cheeses taste different. So they're different things. There you go.
Okay, so you capitulate. Let's move on to fairies. Fairies
Fairies are very, very cool because they're not your traditional take on fairies.
No, fairies are badass because they're bug people. And they fly and they're very small and they can be anywhere on the spectrum from like a very like a little sprite with some bug features to like a fully insectoid humanoid, which is the correct choice, the non-coward's way. And
I like
fairies were so powerful and cool that they had to exclude them from most of the art. Because otherwise they would have just dominated the space.
Yeah, I think fairies are cool the way they bundle two known tropes into something slightly new. In general, I feel like the Ancestry section, despite having classics in it in Daggerheart, keeps it fresh with some interesting ideas. And I think the fairies are amongst the most interesting, most innovative.
Yeah, agreed. The ability, the fairies, it's interesting. They can just fly. And there's not a lot of rules about flying movement in Daggerheart, so I wonder how overpowered this will feel. But
yeah,
it's interesting.
I mean what's it called? The Sappho, the Sephora, the Sephiroth.
Yeah, the Seraph.
The Seraph, that's what it is. The Seraph can fly at level 1 too. So Daggerheart seems to be a game that assumes that flying at level 1 is not an issue, and that the kind of challenges you're supposed to face are ones that do not are challenges that don't fold to one flying party member.
I will play a lesbian Seraph of Sappho who wears Sephora.
There you go. But I like the fairies. What else do we have? Let's move through some of these.
Let's move through some of these because we're not done with the odd stuff. We're barely in it. Fungrel, another F.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love fungus people.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, the art of this is so cool.
Like, it's a classic fantasy thing to mix people with animals or plants or something like that. Well, funguses are really cool in real life biology class. So I think they're really cool to mix with a person and make an ancestry from. And this is like some of the spice that I feel like really keeps the keeps the ancestry section interesting in Daggerheart. And like, there's some awesome fungal art. Like, there's a syndicate fungal that is awesome. There's a fungal that's like the flashing around, like the Flash sprinting through an arena with like a bunch of foreshortening. That looks really awesome.
That art is so insanely good.
The fungrels look awesome in this book, in my opinion. I love how they were done. They really do justice to the diversity of like mushroom like morphotypes that exist.
Yes, and I will have to restrain myself from just playing fungrels in this game. It's just like I don't care. Maybe fairies can have me once. But even my fairy will be like an ant person infected by a mushroom.
There you go. Yeah. A Last of Us ant fairy.
Yeah. Are you ready for Galapa?
Yeah, I've never been super like stoked by turtle people, but if you want to play Master Oogway, I won't stand in your way. I feel like, these more unique lineages, you got to take some swings, and some swings aren't for everybody. Turtle people aren't for me, but I'm very happy for them to be here because the fact that they're here means there are other things here that are a little bit more niche, but that I really love.
Like fungrels.
Like fungrels, for example.
Yeah. I think, Galapas are turtle people, and I think that, I genuinely think that turtle people these turtle people look awesome. I have a hard time imagining these Galapas fitting a lot of archetypes because I know how turtles work.
Yeah, turtles are also like an animal that is so typecast. Like, not just because, I don't think there is actually that huge diversity of turtles. I think most turtles are really similar to one another, But turtles are such an image, such a metaphor for a certain type of character, for a certain type of person already. It's kind of hard to make, that many characters that at least play with type. I guess you get to play against type a lot, or just play crossways to type, and I don't know what that really does.
I mean, we say that, but then people think that the Ninja Turtles are awesome, so maybe we're stupid because those turtles can do backflips and work side by side with investigative journalists.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, giants. You want to be big?
This
Can be a
one
giant.
kind of is a little bit of a letdown for me. I like half giants a lot. Full giants don't feel like a lineage to me that heroes should be playing.
Also,
and
these are
feel
not
way
full
less cool.
giants. Like, if we're honest, if they in the artwork, these guys do not look like what we think of
Yeah.
when we think giant. These guys are
Yeah.
like tops 3 meters tall, which is
Yeah,
like
they're not giant.
Yeah, they're
like
half
they're not
giant.
gigantic in size.
Yeah, but like
yeah.
they're like half giant, and I don't know how a half giant comes to be. But like this.
Yeah, I don't understand it exactly either. Why these are giants. In like Matt Mercer's own setting, he calls them half giants. He doesn't usually call them Goliaths. I mean, he hasn't in a long time. I like the idea of half giants. I like the idea of a human who is imbued with some of the size, might, cunning, or rage of the giants, or the elemental powers of them. All of those themes are cool to me, are interesting to me. But just like you're just full on, you are a giant, is kind of like. But that doesn't make you should be too big to play. I do like the Cyclops though.
Yeah.
The Cyclops eyes are cool.
Speaking of fully animal people, we have here Katari, the cat people. You wanna be a cat boy or cat girl?
Yeah, I think the cat people, you gotta have them. People love them a lot. They're not necessarily my favorite, but that's why we get the fun girls, right? And the cat people are for other people who just enjoy it. I think it would be kind of a weird oversight to have like turtle people and not cat people, and it makes sense.
Yeah, but maybe they could have. You could strike something like, I don't know, goat people. Don't need goat people and cow people. Katari, yeah. So Katari have like the strong dimorphism that the fairies also have, where like you want just a cat boy or a cat girl, just like a human with cat ears. You can have that, but they also clearly present the opportunity. You can have a full anthropomorphic like tiger, just a tiger or a lion that is just anthropomorphic, but otherwise it's just the animal. Yeah. So we cover the full thing. They even show different like leg shapes if you want to go fully human or fully animalistic, and the eyes. So yeah, there's a lot of like attention paid here.
Yeah, we've been mentioning somewhat consistently, but like this sketch art that shows you all the different variations of how a lineage like this could look is amazing to have as a player, but also really cool to have as a game master, to sort of be able to focus in your mind's eye, like which different versions of this could be canon in my setting. And I think it's really neat. I think it's really well done.
Like that isn't necessarily all of them are viable in your world.
Yeah, you can pick one or two.
They could be.
Yeah, they could be.
They could be. Okay, Katari's done. Ribbit.
This is a like this goes in the group with the Galapa for me.
Yeah,
I'm glad these are frog people. I'm glad that the frog people are here for the people who want to play frog people. They are very cute. Personally, I couldn't play a character that's a ribbit and like take them seriously myself. I feel like it would be kind of strange to be like it would be good for like a joke character or a cute character, but it'd be kind of hard for me to imagine that like my ribbit came from a town that was devastated by a drought or something. Now I had to go out into the world and learn how to be a hero for my people or something. I don't know. It doesn't really track. I think you gotta. For me, I would only play it comedically, but I'm glad it's here for the people who like it. It's a fun name. I do like the name.
Yeah, they're extremely cartoonish. Even the sketch art does not suggest that this character can be anything but a joke. In the sense that like all the art is cartoony. There's one character that like desires to be the cool badass ribbit, but it is not. It's so not.
Yeah. So this is the kind of thing where it's like, I think like the orc infernus dwarf human party works, and I think the ribbit galapa fairy fungal party works, but like the the ribbit, halfling, orc, tiefling, human part is kind of like everyone keeps looking at Jeff. You know,
Yes.
I think you could kind of end up the odd one out. So I maybe check the vibe with your group. What direction you're sort of leaning, or maybe mix and match. I mean, of course, this game is a big proponent of breaking down narrative boundaries and just doing whatever you want. But like, yeah, I would check with the party. Or like, are we doing like elves and dwarves, or are we doing like?
Yeah. All right. Speaking of unfathomable choices, Simia. What if people were monkey?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. If only there was a monkey. If only there was something similar to a monkey that you could already play. I have so hard relating to something with like, you know, a bipedal gait and 5 fingers on each hand and the ability to climb trees. Anyways, all jokes aside, Simia are similar to humans, but they're not that similar. I see why they included them, and there are some fun Simia arts out there. Again, for me, this is like does not work with it when a human is in the party. For me personally, it works better like in the Galapa Ribbit party.
Yeah, I think that like Simia is such a tall world building order. Somehow more than Fangirl to me. Like, you cannot bring me into your magic world that has monkey people without telling me that there's monkey people. Like, if you spring mushroom people on me, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
If you spring monkey people on me, I will stand up. I will flip the tables.
No, come on.
I will toss all my hope tokens at you. I will call you a joke, and then I'll go watch Planet of the Apes because those movies are really cool.
Yeah, I think Simia is a cool concept, a great thing to play, especially in an all-animal party. I would definitely pick this. In the sort of more typical fantasy party, I maybe would not pick this, but I really like that they like swung for the fences and they brought a lot of unique ideas and a lot of unique spice. Of all the games that have recently come out, the Lineage section in Daggerheart is to me the most interesting, the most fun.
Yeah. Okay, and we are almost done. Now introducing the final exotic ancestry, which is also the first one that is introduced in the book, just to weird you out. The Clank.
The Clank. Robots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robots.
I like that every TTRPG these days, even a fantasy one, has options to play robots. I will play robots. I'm not sure my robots will look as steampunky as their robots, but I love the ability to get to play a robot. It's fun.
Yeah, they just straight up say that, like, if you want to play robots, you should. And they give you one. And I think they also present a couple of designs. There's not that much variety, but there's enough sketches here to pick a more serious, a more silly design. One interesting thing that they emphasize is that the robots don't have to be based on humans. They present you with an idea of like, what if a Clank was built after the dragon people? Here's a draconic robot, and you can have all of them. And
that's a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun. You know, I would have fun talking about like what's a fungal robot. What's a fungal Clank like? Yeah. And then finally we come to the mixed ancestries. The mixed ancestries say basically. Oh yeah, I need to say this. Every ancestry comes with like a stronger and a weaker feature, which are always the first and the second one in that order, if I'm not wrong. And then basically, if you want to create a hybrid ancestry, you can just like pick one of the ancestries and reflavor it, or you can take the first trait of one ancestry and the second one of another and make a hybrid. And it's incredible that like for the art of the mixed ancestry page goes so fucking hard. It makes you want to play nothing but this character specifically, which is a dragon robot sorcerer who is like stopping a fire blast while charging a chaos magic bolt in its right hand. This art goes so hard, it makes me mad. Like, no other ancestry looks so good.
Looks as cool.
As cool. Like, look at it. Do you have it in front of you?
I do not. But you know what they say, the best class is multi-class, and perhaps the best ancestry is a mixed ancestry.
I cannot get over how badass this, like, I want this to be an NPC in all of my games.
But yeah, I think one of the things about Daggerheart is, right, that we've mentioned is compared to other big box like TTRPGs like D&D, Draw Steel, those kinds of games, it is simpler, it has less rules. However, it actually has more ancestries, and each ancestry is fairly simple with only 2 features. And the real strength, I think, that they're highlighting here of going with less rules is the increased flexibility that you get from it. That it's really easy to reflavor an ancestry. It's really easy to make up a new ancestry. It's really easy to mix ancestries because ancestries are just kind of simple. It's just 2 features. One is stronger, one is weaker. Look at the table. Try to design something if you're designing your own ancestry that's roughly equally as strong on the top feature and roughly equally as strong as the bottom feature. And Daggerheart is such a loosey goosey game with balance. It's probably going to be totally fine. All right. Well, we hope you had fun hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the discussion, let us know in the comments. And if you didn't, let us know in the comments. If you want to see us do longer freeform discussions, you can check out our weekly podcast, A Friendly Orbit. It's on YouTube and it's on Spotify, and it's also on Apple Podcasts.
All right, Ceres and listeners, thanks for coming to the workshop. I'll see you back here when inspiration strikes again.